Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I want to talk about the rumours of Apple and Lucid Motors, or CCIV, working together and how they've been confirmed. We don't quite know the details of the deal just yet, but we do know that they're working together. I also want to talk about the new lawsuit against Lucid Motors and CCIV, but this time it's a class action lawsuit with a sole plaintiff from Alabama. Is this another joke lawsuit, or is Lucid Motors in big trouble? But before I dive into the video, I just want to remind you all to subscribe to the channel, ding that notification bell, drop a like down below, check out the links in the description to Webull and free trade to get your free shares. You can currently get 2 free shares with Webull worth up to $1,850 at the moment. Also, be sure to check out the Patreon and become part of the team. Now I want to dive straight in with the key information. So, there was a recent interview with Peter Rawlinson performed by a UK media outlet, The Guardian, in which they directly asked Peter if Lucid Motors had been approached by Apple, to which Peter Rawlinson declined to comment. Per paragraph 202.03 of the New York Stock Exchange rules, any inappropriate rumours with no basis should be promptly denied. As Peter Rawlinson declined to comment and didn't deny the rumours, that means that Lucid Motors have 100% been approached by Apple. However, it's important to remember that while the rumours have been confirmed as true and not just baseless claims, Peter didn't specify how Apple have approached him and contacted him. Obviously, people are hoping that Apple has approached Lucid Motors and begged them to use the Lucid Air as their platform for the Apple autonomous software. Now, while this would be incredible for Lucid Motors, I think that the likelihood of this happening right now in 2021 is quite low. Maybe in the future, when Lucid Motors are manufacturing hundreds of thousands of vehicles each and every year, but right now in 2021, when they're only manufacturing 34,000 vehicles a year, Apple are probably going to want a manufacturer that can do more. What I think is more likely is that Apple have approached Lucid Motors to discuss their connectivity with Apple CarPlay, or to maybe use Siri instead of Amazon's Alexa system, or to maybe use an Apple operating system instead of an Android operating system. Or maybe they have genuinely inquired about using the Lucid Air as a platform for their autonomous software, but are putting discussions on hold until Lucid can manufacture more vehicles. I don't think that you should base your entire CCIV investment thesis on the off chance that Lucid Motors are using the Apple autonomous software by like next week, but I think if you are going to invest in CCIV, you should invest in the potential that they have for the future. They're a US based company like Tesla, eBay, Amazon and Google, and US based companies almost always drive a premium compared to their Chinese counterparts like NIO, Alibaba, Etsy or Baidu. Therefore, one day Lucid Motors could be worth even more than NIO, even if they're manufacturing less vehicles, just because they're a US based company. Lucid Motors also have a great platform, combining speed with range and also luxury, especially their Lucid Air Dream Edition and even the Tri-Motor Edition, which both vastly outperform almost all competitors, even Tesla. Just a quick reminder to scroll down and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. If you're not and you've already seen a few of my other videos, then subscribe and make sure to ding the notification bell, because that way you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. Now let's talk about this new lawsuit. Lucid Motors are currently being sued by someone called Randy Phillips. So what's it all about? Now I'm guessing that Randy is just someone that bought CCIV right at the top, around $64 or $65. And he's a bit salty that he's holding a loss-making stock. So he's joined one of those class action lawsuits that pop up as soon as something even remotely negative is posted about a company. Randy alleges that Lucid Motors and members of their board, CCIV and members of their board, made false and misleading statements about CCIV, about how they were going to manufacture the Lucid Air in Q2 of 2021 instead of the second half of the year, and how they were going to deliver their full book of pre-orders, so 6,000 vehicles, in 2021 instead of just the first production run of about 600 vehicles. Randy alleges that because of this delay in production and because they're only doing the first 600 vehicles in 2021 and the rest in 2022, that this is the sole reason why the CCIV stock crashed from around $65 to around $20, and he wants his money back. Now, I think it's difficult to blame Lucid Motors and Peter Rawlinson for delaying the production of the Lucid Air. Obviously, if they have outright lied, that's very, very bad. But I think a more likely reason for the delay in production is because of the global chip shortage. It's affected NIO, Tesla, and almost all other automobile manufacturers around the entire world. So I think it'd be quite unreasonable to expect Lucid Motors to be completely immune from the chip shortage if it's been affecting much larger manufacturers like Tesla. In terms of their manufacturing plans, maybe it was their original plan to manufacture all 6,000 pre-orders in 2021, which, by the way, if it was 6,000 pre-orders in February, that increased to 8,000 pre-orders in March, and now could be as high as 10,000 pre-orders now that we're in April. But as a result of the global chip shortage, they've had to delay production. And maybe now that's why they're only doing an initial run of 600 vehicles in 2021 and the rest of the vehicles in 2022. I don't think it's a cash restraint because as a result of the reverse merger, they're about to get around $4.5 billion. Even if the Lucid Air cost $160,000 to build and they were making absolutely zero profit on each vehicle, and they decided to manufacture all 10,000 vehicles before shipping a single one to a customer and getting the cash in, that would only cost them around $1.6 billion, meaning they'd have more than $2.5 billion left with zero cash coming in. So money almost certainly isn't the restraint. I don't think time is a restraint either, as their facility can manufacture over 34,000 vehicles per year. And therefore it must be a constraint that's outside of Lucid Motors' control, like a global chip shortage. In terms of that global chip shortage, it's now apparently spreading even as far as toasters and washing machines, and therefore soon enough you won't be able to buy a new toaster because they'll be all out of stock. Analysts believe that as the pandemic continues to recede, more people are going to be spending more time outside, and therefore less time inside, and therefore they believe that consumer spending on electronics will decline. Those same analysts believe that the chip shortage will be over this year. That will help the global chip shortage from both angles. Manufacturers like Taiwan Semiconductors are going to be increasing production and manufacturing more chips. If consumer spending on electronics starts to decline, then eventually the global chip shortage will resolve itself. More supply and less demand. Throughout 2020, pretty much the entire world was stuck inside, and the only thing that you could do was buy new stuff for your house. New appliances, new games consoles, and new computers. But as more people start going outside, they'll have less need for brand new electronics. Overall, I don't really think that this Randy Phillips guy has got a leg to stand on. I think the delay in production is outside of Lucid Motors' control, probably a result of the global chip shortage. I think Randy's just trying it on to try and get some money back, and therefore I don't think this lawsuit is anything to worry about if you are a Lucid Motors investor. As always guys, if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to check out some of my others. Also be sure to get those free stocks with Webull and Free Trade in the description, and be sure to check out the Patreon. But for now, cheers.